So it's still 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and start tonight's meeting. I'll call tonight's meeting to order. And we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance by Council Member Adeline.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, am I talking to Heather or Darren tonight? Which one?
Oh,
Okay, Heather, all right. Heather, would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember John Casey,
Happy to be here.
Councilmember Terrence Fennelly,
Equally happy to be here.
Councilmember Adeline Rudolph,
Just going with here.
Councilmember David Sauter,
Lukewarm, but here.
Supervisor
Wow.
Jared.
No comment. I'm here. All right, can you confirm that the meeting was properly advertised?
Yes, it was.
Thank you very much. We do have written communications that are coming around in the binder. The most recent ones have been included in attachment number 1 in the agenda. We do have time for a privilege of the floor at this point, if there's anyone who would like to be heard. So we have a couple hands. Now, just a reminder, I do see some new faces. Privilege of the floor is kept to 3 minutes, and it's not a dialogue back and forth. So if you have your statement, and we'll start with in the front, Marion, we're gonna have to, we'll start in the front and work back.
Hi,
If you could state your name and address for the record, that would be wonderful.
my name is Jill Whedon. I live at 4960 Weifels Road. I've been a resident of the town of Canandaigua since 1989. So I've lived in different places, but in the last 2 years, we have moved to Weifels Road, and there is a concern. I'm going to be passing this out. I was a teacher for 30 years, and I know that a visual enhancement and auditory sort of go hand in hand, so I won't have to repeat myself. And they just follow along.
If you can give me 2, I'll give one to the clerk as well.
I'll give you lots.
Okay, okay, all right, thank you.
I'll give it to him so you can, don't waste your 3
Thanks,
minutes.
I won't waste my.
And I'll Pause
It won't
that,
take a long
pause
time.
that clock.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause it.
It won't take a long time. So I have a petition here to reduce the speed, to conduct, a speed study to lower the speed limit from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour on Weifels Road in the town of Canandaigua, New York. The rationale is Weifels Road is a highly populated residential road that is also often used by pedestrians, many of whom walk their dogs. A comparable road in the area is Butler Road. It is similar in population, length, and approximation between Westlake Road and Middle Cheshire Road. Both roads also serve as access to housing developments. Fox Ridge for Butler Road and the Morel development for Weifels Road. Butler Road's speed limit is posted at 35 miles per hour. In addition, Westlake Road, County Route 16, is posted at 35 miles per hour. We, the undersigned, request that the speed limit on Weifels Road be lowered from 45 miles per hour to 35 miles per hour. Thank you. I have a petition here signed by 48 of the residents, and there are approximately 38 houses on the road.
Can I sign this when you? send it
Sure,
around?
you may sign it. Absolutely. If anyone here would like to sign it, please do so.
All right, Jim, do you know the last time we had a speed study?
So I believe it's right around the 5-year mark.
Okay,
We'll,
right.
we'll have the clerk pull the last time.
Okay.
We went on Weifels Road, it's over 5 years.
hasn't been in the last 4, I know that, so.
It's been in the past 5 years, then we will, with your right resolution,
Okay.
to submit a T9 from the town board, which will then go to the county DPW director, which will then send it to Henrietta at DOT for review. Okay, and it'll take about 6 months for us to get an answer. And we'll see what they say. Okay.
I will add that not one person that, some people didn't sign because they went home, but not one person didn't sign who I
Okay,
encountered.
all right, thank you very much.
Do you mind if I
Thank you
say
for coming
something?
in.
Do you mind? I'll tell you, I walk my dog on Weifels Road, so thank you for bringing this to your attention, because.
Please
Sign the
Yes,
petition.
Okay, all right, thank you very much for that. All right, anyone else like to be heard? Marion? you're free to go, yeah,
Thank you. Thanks very much,
you bet,
everyone.
have a good night.
Thank you.
Last Monday night, I came to present a letter to the town board in regards to the incentive zoning law. And there was some confusion about what time the meeting started. And when I got here at 5:45, it was already, you already had, you were interviewing. So I think we're each given a copy of this. It's pretty clear that this law needs to be addressed again. There are several things that are very obvious. One is the criteria for determining the significance of the difficulties with the seeker. I think the law was not followed there. It also requires that you address affordable housing. That was never done in the law. A lot of things were never discussed at the public hearing when letters came in from the watershed associations objecting to it, was never discussed. It was just take the letter, thank you very much, see ya. That's got to change. And there was also comments from the Ontario County Planning Board that weren't addressed. This law has some serious problems with it, needs to go back to the ordinance committee, used to be called the code committee, the ordinance committee, to be redone from the very start, including a new seeker, properly done, long form. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, thanks, Jim. Okay, is there anyone else in the company that would like to be heard? We'll go in the back and then we'll go with Karen after that. Come on up, sir, to the, I'd say to the microphone, but just,
That's okay.
We're getting batteries for it.
yeah, we're working on that.
4789 Westlake Road, Harold Bobry. I read the communication in that white binder. There was a letter from David Borkholder in May questioning the two positions, the highway department and the watershed department. And I share the same concerns. If one person is doing both jobs now, is it two half-time jobs versus two full-time jobs? So something for you to review. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Karen?
Karen Parker, Laura Lane. First of all, I agree with the lady about Whitehall's Road. I've lived on Laura Lane since there was no Whitehall's Road. It was just a field. And I've seen the transition over the years. It's a dangerous road. People walk on that road. People ride their bicycles on that road. And it should be changed at lowered to the same as Butler Road. If they can do it on Butler Road, they can do it on Whitehall's Road. But my question is, and I know this isn't the back and forth, is about the raise for Jim Fletcher, is why wasn't this considered when you were making out the budget? Because it seems to me that it's a significant budgetary item, and I am not against it. I don't want to give you that idea at all. I know we have a gem in Jim, and we need to retain him, and I don't think the salaries are out of line, but I believe the timing is poor.
Thank you very much, Karen. Is there anyone else who would like to be heard? Lois? Oh, no, you're just dropping that up. Okay, never mind.
Well, you know what, I said my
Did I?
name, I will.
Oh, look at that.
We did.
Wow. I never,
He's calling from the.
I've never gotten that reaction.
Well.
I'm gonna start
not
calling
not
people
her,
out.
But I.
Greg, you're next. Okay.
Lois Wallbeck, 4280 Lake Hill Drive. I just want to say, I don't email the town board all that often. But I have to say, being a one-party board, some of us, it's easy to sort of feel underrepresented or ignored, maybe even. But I just want to say thank you to those town board members that actually do take the time to respond. Because I'm sorry to say, it's not a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else would like to be heard online? We have Who is it online? All right, Mr. Brewer.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead. If you could just state your name and address.
Sure. My name is Ted Brewer. I live at 4727 County Road 16, otherwise known as Westlake Road. The reason I'm contacting you is because I believe the residential lake district should be treated differently from other residential districts relative to the incentive zoning discussion underway. I say that because the lake is the aesthetic, environmental, and economic engine that makes our community the desirable place that it is. The lake is additionally the water supply for 60,000 people. Tourism is fundamental to our area, and the lake is fundamental to tourism. In fact, tourism is 4 times the economic size of agriculture, so it's really critical to our economic well-being that we take care of the lake. And to this point, there was an article, front page feature article in this morning's Democrat and Chronicle. Perhaps you've seen it. Headline is Battling Blooms. It's about the algal blooms on Canandaigua Lake. And the subheading on a photograph is, and I'm quoting, "A healthy Canandaigua Lake means a healthy economy." Now, the fact that this was on the front page of the Democrat and Chronicle, I think is timely in the sense that I think we need to think very hard about our zoning as it coordinates with our aesthetic, economic, and environmental interests. And I encourage you to treat the RLD differently than other residential zoning districts because it is so different in character and so much more impactful to our community. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
We have another hand raised.
Do we have another hand? What's that?
Pat Brewer would like to speak. It says.
That might have been Ted.
No,
Pat would like,
Okay, Pat. All right, Pat, go ahead.
hi, thanks everyone and good evening. I just wanted to mention about the letter that was sent to the town of Canandaigua on March 7th of this year from Lynn Klotz, who's the president of the Canandaigua Lake Watershed Association. And I'm just going to read a couple lines in it because when we talked about the residential lake district being included in the incentive zoning, this letter was in the communication, but no one talked about it. And I think it's deserving of some conversation amongst the board after this meeting. But essentially, it just says that they've reviewed the legislation seeking to apply the incentive zoning to all districts. They're concerned that applying the incentive zoning to this district for the residential lake will negatively impact the water quality of the Canandaigua Lake. She said, "We feel this incentive zoning ordinance is in direct conflict with the fundamental purpose of the RDL and not in keeping with the comprehensive plan's fundamental goal for the town of Canandaigua, which is protection and enhancement of its natural, agricultural, rural, historic, and recreational resources." She sums up by saying, "We believe the current intensity of development along the lakeshore and on adjacent slope is already at or beyond the intensity that allows for long-term health of the lake. We urge that you omit the RLD, from the town's incentive zoning expansion." Thanks so much for your consideration.
All right, thank you, Pat. Is there anyone else online? Or I won't call on anybody else until the next time, so you have time to kind of get your thoughts together, you know, kind of get a story. Okay, so we do have birthdays for this cycle. Heather Cross, happy birthday. Ramba Ment, Sarah Reynolds, Mark Tolbert, Kevin Pollock, Jim Burke, and Courtney Ayton. So happy birthday to all of those town employees. And I do have some reports that I would like to give. First of all, we received a certificate of appreciation from the Canandaigua Emergency Squad as a thank you for our continued partnership with them and our continued relationship with them. So we received that. So thank you to the town board for continuing to be supportive of the emergency squad, and thank you to the emergency squad for their continued support of the community. A couple things, Ontario County updates. We have planning and pre-construction work continues on the County Road 32 and Hickox Road roundabout. Work will begin there, but we're still in the pre-planning phases at this point. Consultant work continues with the Ontario County landfill and where that will sit with the 2028 end date of the current operating agreement. The county is in the data gathering and the recommendation stage for that. But just because it's been quiet doesn't mean work has not been done. And there will be periods for public input and engagement before any decisions are made. I also want to share, last year, the town board wrote and passed a resolution requesting a fair and equitable tax rate. We were the only town to do that, and we were requesting that from Ontario County. In light of our reassessment, that was vital to the town of Canandaigua and to other towns that had gone through that reassessment process. I was happy to bring back that the 2023 tax rate for Ontario County was lowered to $5.98 down from around $6.50. Due to our leadership at the town and discussions with other supervisors, we will do everything in our power to keep lowering that tax rate. Typically, Ontario County in the budget development guidelines says they seek to keep the tax rate stable. This year, for the first time that I remember, the budget development guidelines state they will seek to lower the tax rate as much as possible. And I just want to say thank you to the board for supporting that resolution last year. And we will do all that we can at the county to make sure that that happens. The assessor's office, I just want to give kudos to them. Michelle and Heather had steady appointments for the past several weeks, meeting with residents regarding their assessments, continuing with last year's process. And I want to thank them for their hard work to make sure that every resident who wants a meeting has had the chance to have a meeting with them. Code enforcement, twice in the past 2 weeks, I received thank yous for the dedication of our CEO, Mike Murphy. In both instances, he was responding to after hours requests. One of them an after hour visit with law enforcement and the fire and emergency responders. Another thank you was just a simple response that he gave to someone who was in the town purchasing a home and needed reassurance that everything was going to come together with some of the goofy things the new home had. This was somebody moving from a home in the town to another home in the town and just had nothing but positives to say about Mike. Our parks, our grounds here at Town Hall look amazing. The parks look amazing. So thank you for that. From the grass to the mulch to the tree trimming and everything else. Thank you. And also thanks to our highway department, who for some reason decided to take on 2 major north-south thoroughfares within a 2-week period. So thank you very much for that. And I have not heard any comments other than to thank you and our professional and dedicated crews for that work. So thank you very much for that. Let's see if I have anything. I have one last comment that I would like to make before we move on to our public hearing. We've had a lot of discussion about incentive zoning. I know many thoughts were shared and comments on incentive zoning. In 2022, we passed the law. We needed to fix some procedural steps along the process, which caused us to go back and look at the law again. Despite concerns, some of them were brought up tonight from neighbors, Watershed Association, and other cooperating agencies, we did pass the new law with the RLD included. Personally, myself, I'm no longer comfortable keeping incentive zoning in the residential Lake District. If one of the goals of incentive zoning is to encourage development with higher density and more affordability for homeowners and builders, this really just doesn't fit for the RLD and what it is and what it should be. Another goal is to provide grading housing opportunities. And again, that doesn't fit for the RLD. So our town attorney has written a draft update of that law that makes it much more clear and understandable. And I would request that our ordinance committee take this up one more time, review the law, look at Mr. Nadler's suggestions with the hopes to incorporate those. And also for my vote, and I know my vote is only one, to remove incentive zoning from the residential lake district. So that is the last of what I had for that, for my report. We do not have any presentations, but we do have a continued public hearing. This is a public hearing regarding the adoption of a text code amendment to town code creating chapter 201 short-term rentals, which will replace chapter 220-9.1. And there is a resolution on tonight's agenda pertaining to this public hearing. So the public hearing was not closed, so at this time, the public hearing is continued. Are there any residents or anybody in the audience who would like to be heard at this time pertaining to a short-term rental public hearing? Marion?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Just for the people online, because if you don't use that, they can't hear you. I didn't break it down. There.
I fully support the STR law, short-term rental law. I do have one little concern, and I know that I've talked to the code enforcement people and they say, don't worry about the septics, we got it covered. I just don't think it's clear enough. And there is a chart that I supplied to Dave Souter. It's not a killer thing, but it would make it a whole lot easier for people to understand what size, how the septic law affects the number of occupants they could have. So if you don't do it now, it's not a killer, but it should be done. I also have one other question, and I know you can't do an exchange, but this would be for probably code enforcement. And that is, I know of at least one instance where a house has, let's say, a downstairs that's finished off with several bedrooms. And if you go to the assessor's page, he has it listed as a single-story ranch with 3 bedrooms. When you go to, I'm sure I haven't looked, but when you go to the application for the short-term rental permit, it's got a 5-bedroom place that could have, they say 16, but I question that. But at any rate, I think there needs to be some way to cross-check those 2 items, that the assessor has the same information that the code enforcement does for the number of bedrooms and that kind of thing. So I don't know how you accomplish that, but I think it should be accomplished. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to be heard at this time? Any town board members who would like to discuss? Before I do have the highlights of the new law that I was just going to read off quickly. If you want me to go ahead and do that. Okay. So the ordinance committee viewed the updated local law on May 6th. And in consultation with the attorney, with our planning department, these are the changes that were made to the existing law. So these things I'm reading are current changes that are within the law. Added a section on a maximum occupancy. As I go to my cheat sheet here, the maximum occupancy will be 18. So no short-term rental within the town of Canandaigua will be allowed to have more than 18 residents. The thought was more than 18, you are now more of a commercial operation. So to cap that at 18. Adding another section for a limit on date to reduce, allowing the planning board to reduce the number of daytime guests, which says the number of daytime guests may be limited by the planning board during review and approval of special use permit required by this chapter. And that is section 1201-7. Section 201-7J changes parking to 1 parking space per bedroom. And the 4th change in 201-7J, it does allow the planning board to require additional parking if necessary. So it gives the planning board actually the ability to look at the property and make those decisions. So not as much one size fits all. The 5th change, allowing posted occupancy to be less than the maximum occupancy allowed by code. So if a property owner wants a lower occupancy, then they might be allowed by law. the property owner, it defers to the property owner, so they can set their occupancy as lower than what the code might allow. Number 7, which is in 201-7, it changed the requirement for a 24-hour local contact. So 24-hour local contacts, property management services, resident owner are required. Number 8 changes the requirement for a special use permit. So anything over 12, any applicant, 12 is the max number that you can apply for a regular short-term rental approval. Anything over 12, you need a special use permit. But that number 12 cannot go past the number 18. So that is capped at number 18 regardless. And finally, 201-11B waives the permit fee for waives the permit fee one time. If you want to amend your application to come under this law, you can amend your application and you don't have to pay. You have a one-time waiver for the application fee.
If you have an existing permit.
Yes, if you have that existing permit. Any other questions or comments from the board?
Oh, that's just kind of been a long time coming. but-
Yes, it has. I
Yeah,
think
how much
finally,
we've spent many months
Mhm.
talking about this, and I feel very comfortable with where we finally ended up, and I think it's going to be protect property rights and protect property owners that are neighbors as well.
Seems to be a good balance. Now we just have to go after the chicken law, Dave.
Chicken laws
Do
next,
not-
right? Yeah, don't say that word. And we do have a new company, Granicus, that we have engaged with that does scour databases. And we have had multiple, probably since we've gone with them, probably 60 meetings, 60 hearings. And we brought 60 people online who did not have permits at the time, who have now been brought up to speed.
So we brought a lot of people in on this, especially people who own properties, people who were affected by properties. So we listened to a lot of people, and as both Jared and Terry and Adeline said, it's I think it's been a long time coming, but I think it's a pretty good law that I'm sure will be amended somewhere down the road, but I think it answers a lot of questions that both residents and people in the short-term rental business have.
All right, any other comments? Anything else from the public at this time? Nobody online? All right, so do I dare say it? At this time, without if there's
No,
barring any
please.
exception, I declare this public hearing closed,
Hallelujah.
never to again be reopened. Never
Say
to again.
never.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right, we do have a new public hearing, and this is a public hearing on the proposed 2024 Town of Canandaigua Water System Improvement Project, which pertains to resolution number 138. And at this time, I declare the public hearing open and invite anyone who would like to speak at this time to step to the front.
Good evening, I'm John Salisbury. I'm from 4487 Middle Cheshire Road. And I noticed this item in the agenda and came to the public hearing to find out more about it. I don't see that we're going to have a presentation of any sort.
No, but I can give you, I can help you out
Okay.
with this, so I will break the rules for the back and forth on this.
Oh,
Because of the, right, because of the amount of confusion that it might create, something like this. So this project, we have miles and miles. Terry has the number in his head better
52?
than I do.
50 or
And
50
Jim
miles
does.
of ACP pipe. That was installed in the late 60s. Over the past 50 decades, the ACP pipe has been leaching the lime from the cement that made the pipe. So that's causing the exterior of the pipe to become swollen and soft. And what that has also created is additional cost due to the oversized repair clamps that we have to purchase when we have a water main break or to tap the channel itself. We've gone through a year and a half ago, we hired a company to come and scan. Electroscan was named a company to determine the thickness and leaks in the pipe. We've determined we have hot soils at the southern end of our community that are quickly, I say quickly, it's been 50 years, but to the point where we need to start looking for funding to replace this 50-year-old water main and valves and hydrants. So that for the future of the water district and those who use it can have a water system that performs when they need it, doesn't break or fail them often.
So what this public hearing does, and the project, it's about an $8.5 million project to replace
Right.
these lines. We are applying for WIA grant funding and hoping to get $5 million, $5 million in funding. The little birdie said, I had that up here, which would then bring the cost of the town for about $3.5 million. We would replace as much as we could with that money, depending on the economy, depending on prices, depending on everything else. The cost of this would be borne by the entire water district, not just the homes where the water line was put in and replaced. It's a benefit to the entire district. So the entire Canandaigua Consolidated Water District would bear the cost of this project.
Mhm.
So it'd be spread out through the entire thing. We go through this when we create sewer districts and other special districts where just the people who touch the expansion or the improvements pay for it. This isn't that case. It goes for everybody. So everybody in the water district, it would be part of the water rates that go through there to help pay for this. It's necessary for the long-term viability of the system. We'll get done as much as we can. We're hoping for the grant funding to come through. If it doesn't, we have to reevaluate, see if we want to spend $8.5 million or try again the next year for that $5 million for that funding. This is the same funding that we got for the water tanks when those had to be replaced on Kramer Road. Timeframe, we're still looking a few years out easily. So we're quite a ways out from this happening. But the reason we have to do these steps and do these hold these public hearings and follow the procedure is in order to submit the grant application, we have to have everything documented and all the steps in the correct order and everything done. So then we can submit it and apply for the funding to be able to try and complete the project.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that information.
Yes.
I'll get with the staff to find out more information regarding the project as it develops.
Yes.
I think that's
And it's-
probably the correct course of action
Yes,
to
it
take
is-
at this
it's-
point.
it
We're
is-
early in the process, right?
We are very early, and that's the hard part, because a presentation, we don't know exactly where we're gonna end up, where it's gonna be, depends on what money comes through, how much money we have. When we get closer, we will definitely have presentations, we will have open houses, we will have timing, we will have impact, when you can expect it to your, when and what you can expect, and the timing of when you can expect it. So as we get closer, we'll have that all laid out. But we're still a few years away from that, so
So the long and short of it is, we're early in the process.
very early, yes,
We don't know what the tax implication will be next year.
right,
The cost will be borne by the entire water district
yes,
and more to come.
there's more to come, yes,
Okay, well, that answers everything I wanted to.
perfect,
All right, thank you very much for your time.
yes, thanks for coming out.
Can I
Great
ask,
summary.
we don't anticipate a tax implication next year, right? This would be
No.
a few years.
No.
Yes,
This is, sounds like a number of years out.
I say at least 2 years.
Okay,
Greg, how many? 4?
Three,
So was that a 3?
that's a,
I don't have my glasses.
it's a W.
You have thick fingers. It looks like a 4. Good thing you're not my catcher.
I've only lived here too, but
Okay.
it was 2 years to be able to get here
Ballpark,
due
yes.
to COVID
Right.
and long process in terms of
Well, we're glad that-
purchasing a lot,
Yeah.
getting planning board approval, getting a builder, geting it built, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, and thanks for
I
coming
will-
out.
I will say this about the water, it tastes good.
Oh.
In spite of the pipes getting a little soft. I'm glad to see you're gonna look at replacing ACP pipe. I do know a little bit about water pipe. And it's probably time. And if we're the first ones on the block, good.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. All right, is there anyone else who would like to be heard at this time regarding this project? This public hearing? I do not see anybody online. Do you see any other hands online? Any comments from the board?
No.
Any comments from our highway superintendent? Any comments from our engineer?
Sorry.
Do you have any comments? Any?
At this time.
Okay. That's the answer that we want. Told you. Exactly. All right, so at this time, I will declare this without objection. I will declare this public hearing closed. Okay, reports of department heads and officials, highway and water, Jim?
I just, for a long time, Jeff Miller did all the roadside mowing for the town. He
Did all, I'm
retired.
sorry, did all the what?
Roadside mowing.
Okay.
But he's not here. We have a new person, so mistakes may happen. If something might get touched, just please call or remind. I don't know every spot that Jeff didn't do, so we did a very good job of it, so just.
Yes, he did.
You know, that's one thing. And almost a year ago, the town board worked with Kevin Mulvaney on a hydro seeder through the watershed that came last month. That was a $50,000 grant we received. 20,000 of it Gorham's paying, and 20,000 of it the town of Canada was paying. So we got a $90,000 machine for $20,000. Okay. I do a lot of work for keeping new ditching and road projects to get them seeded quicker and sooner than wait around for them. So,
And we were able to tap onto that quickly because we were in the middle, it was after the flooding. And we're able to jump on that and make a quick decision. So thank you to the support of the board on that. And it will help with stabilization. So any water quality that will help stabilize it much more quickly. So that's excellent.
Yeah, southbound portion of Middle Cheshire Road is looking pretty good. This time tomorrow night, I'll be able to say the same for the northbound side, so you're doing a great job out there.
Yeah.
Look like a lot of intermunicipal support too. Trucks from Farmington, Hopewell, Gorham.
Hopewell, Gorham, Seneca,
Yeah, so,
Canada had water, and I had a couple of full, like just to make sure.
Awesome.
That was 1,800 ton we put down.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. And I do need to talk about the fast motorcycles on Cooley Road now.
Yep.
In the evening. They go screaming down there now. It is so smooth. All right, I do not see our assessor. So we do not have an assessor's report or a historian's report. Town clerk, Heather?
No.
Okay, did you see Sarah online? Sarah, do you have anything?
That's been great.
What's that? Is she,
She's got it.
all right. Well, if Sarah comes back and wants to chime in, if she wants to share anything from her report, we'll invite her back in. HR Parks, Lindsay? Yes. Okay.
Hi. So I'm Lindsay Ferry, I'm the HR and Parks Coordinator. We are ramping up to the start of our season. So this weekend is opening for our beaches. So Ononda Beach is going to be open this weekend from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Butler Beach is going to open early this year on June 1st, and the hours will be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So a huge thank you to my senior lifeguards for pulling together the schedule to make that happen. I also wanted to point out too, our Parks and Rec Committee has been very busy. Every Wednesday starting June 5th, there will be food trucks at Outhouse Park from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We also have 3 Music in the Park events, the first on June 12th. The other one is June 10th and Wednesday, August 14th. So again, food trucks 5:30 to 8. The music will start 6:30 to 8. And then we are also planning a Music in the Park in August. I believe it's August 16th. So it'll be a Friday. There is also a bike rodeo that's being held at Richard P. Outhouse Memorial Park, held by Kiwanis. That'll be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it should be really fun, especially on our paved trails that we have for kids to go around some obstacles. There will also be officers there for bike and helmet, safety tips, and just making sure that the kids have everything they need. So A lot of events coming up. That is all in the attachments, and we'll be posting things on Facebook. I'm also excited to share too that my team has worked very hard on our Ononda Trail system with this very mild winter that we had. I know a couple comments came in from the public just stating that they really appreciated the extra mulching and extra care on the trails. We will continue to do that. Thank you to the town board for approving that budget request from last year for us to maintain our trails. Otherwise, yeah, the season's starting. We're very excited. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much.
It's great.
All right, I do not have anything additional for my report, other than what is included and what I've already shared. Town board standing committees, finance.
I'm all good.
All right, public works.
We met weeks ago, I guess it was, taking a look at unexpended fund balance and assigning some of those dollars to various capital projects that have been listed as in need of support. So those things will be coming along. I think everybody was at the meeting, so you seeing some of those dollars being spent out there, so.
And when we finalize that, we will have that published, and it will be by resolution. So you can see where the money is being transferred and where it's going. So that'll be available. Ordinance?
Yes, the next meeting is gonna be June 3rd, 9 AM. We're had farm labor housing on the docket. I know that I've received some feedback from the ag committee on a couple of tweaks that I'll sit down with Chris and get that ready for the ordinance committee. And obviously incentive zoning is on the radar as well, so we'll be discussing that as well.
And then as far as reports next month at our June 24th meeting, we will be having presentations from the history team and from the Parks Committee, from the Parks Committee. I also want to share too, before I forget, that at our June 10th meeting, we will be having a workshop of the boards. So there won't be any presentations at that meeting. It'll be a working session with the town board, planning board, the environmental conservation board, and the zoning board. So it'll just be kind of a roundtable workshop. I have Matt Horn from MRB Group coming to facilitate that. So public is always invited to attend. If you want to sit and watch us work and eat, you're more than welcome to, or if you just rather Zoom, there will be for the board members. Yeah, there will be a little fence. So that will be June 10th, and that will be at 6 PM. And board members are invited to arrive about 5:45, so you can get dinner and get a little bit to eat before we start. All right, we have time for another privilege of the floor. Is there anyone who would like to be heard at this time?
Can I just ask a quick question from here? And I understand it's not that important. Did I miss hearing a motion to send incentive zoning back to the ordinance committee?
I requested that the ordinance committees do it, and Dave said he's already got it on his agenda.
Okay, so you don't need a motion?
No. All right. So for continued resolutions and motions, resolution number 111, seeker determination of non-significance and adoption of a text code amendment to town code, creating chapter 201 short-term rentals to replace chapter 220-9.1.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Put a fork in it. And we are moving on. All right, new resolutions and motions, finance resolutions.
Local law, number to local law.
Yes, thank you. I don't have that part in here.
Fives.
Thank you. I'm using my cheat sheet, not my regular sheet. So that is local law number 5 of 2024. Okay. You good?
Let me just make sure the local law is the one that the federal is just included. Perfect.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Resolution number 125, authorization to transfer funds for website improvement and public communication enhancement.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Adeline, seconded by Terry. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, this resolution carries. Resolution number 126, entering into an agreement with New Wave Energy for fixed rate natural gas supply services.
So moved.
Give that one to John and second by Adeline. Any discussion?
I just wanted to confirm again why this is 23 months instead of 24.
It's 23 months to line up with our electric agreement that we have with them. We entered into an electric agreement with New Wave that will save us it's about between $8,000 and $10,000 a year in electric costs by going with fixed rate. And this will save us not quite as much, but about $2,000 a year on natural gas costs. So in all, by making this switch, we're seeing about a $10,000 a year savings in our utility supply.
And just confirming again, this is only on town-owned properties.
Yes, this is not community choice. This is town properties only. It is now, it is not a public option. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Resolution number 127, acknowledging the cancellation of outstanding checks for receiver of taxes.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Resolution number 128, amendments to the 2024 fee schedule.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
The short-term rental fees are adjusted in there.
Yes.
That's the only.
So this is just short-term rentals and just to clarify, it is it was $900 for every 3 years. And this is just changing it to $300 per year. It was decided that doing it yearly is not that much more of a burden on our development office. And for some, it was expressed that $900 up all at one chunk was more of a hardship for some than others. So that's just standardizes it to 1 year. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that one carries. Resolution 129, resolution to engage with MRB Group for town hall renovation and redesign services. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Terry, seconded by Adeline. Any discussion? Long time coming. A lot of iterations of this. Thank you everyone for your input between staff and electeds and everyone who touches different parts of the office. Thank you very much. Thank you to MRB for your support through this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries. Resolution number 130, authorizing the purchase of 3 hard copies of the Town of Canandaigua Reconnaissance Level Survey, Part 2, Historic Resource Inventory Forms. That's
So
a
moved.
mouthful. Second, moved by Adeline, seconded by Dave. Any discussion on this one? Part 2 of the project. Part 1 we did, and we provided copies to the Wood Library and the Historical Society. One is kept at Town Hall. This allows us to provide the same. And it was completed earlier, so not a budgeted expense. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries. And thank you to the history team. Thank you to our historian. And goes all the way back to Ray Henry and Sarah Linda Hooker, who started this years ago and documenting and the historical properties within the town. Resolution 131, authorizing budget amendments and increase in salary for highway and water superintendent. Moved by Terry. We are changed. So this one, let me go back to this one. This one, we do have some. This one, number 1, this one needs to be changed. So I'm going to rescind that. I'm going to pull that back. In the form that it is written right now, this amendment cannot be passed because of some steps that need to be taken with it prior, and I'll explain those in a second. So I would make a motion at this time to lay this over indefinitely because regardless, that would be correct, we'll lay it over indefinitely. Because there will be any future changes that need to be made to it, and I'll get into those in a second. So I will motion to lay this over indefinitely. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, that one carries. Now to explain the situation with that. We've received a lot of discussion regarding this resolution, resolution number 131. We've had some comments during privilege of the floor on that. And I do want to say that, you know, talking to Jim, we're very fortunate to have Jim as an elected highway superintendent, as an appointed water superintendent. He brings decades of experience, not more than three, but that's still multiple decades of experience. He's a wealth of knowledge for our town infrastructure, respected statewide. He has saved the town money in various projects, allowing us to be more efficient by doing projects in-house that many other towns contract out. And he's also a resource to many other towns throughout the area. The resolution that we laid over indefinitely brought forth a salary change, which would have changed and brought the elected highway superintendent's salary and the appointed water salary both to $90,000. In order to adjust the highway superintendent's salary mid-year and not as part of a regular budget, we need to do this by passing a local law to make it that budget adjustment subject to permissive referendum. So the reason this is happening now, to answer some of those questions that were happening before, we did do a budget adjustment last year to provide some increase in the water superintendent's salary. And this year, and I won't go into all the facts and details, I'll let Jim go into that with people individually if he so chooses. We had to make a decision, and we needed to have conversation as a board on what direction to do and what we were going to do to retain Jim. Okay, so just to put things into perspective, and I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit. So as far as other highway superintendents, Victor Highway Superintendent is $90,396. These are last year's numbers. Farmington is $74,251. Geneva is $84,110. South Bristol is $82,000. Gorham is $76,932. Seneca is $74,294. Of those, the town of Canandaigua, other than maybe South Bristol, has the largest amount of roads, the longest miles of roads within the town. As far as water superintendents, Farmington is at 97,850. Geneva is at 87,000. Gorham is at 92,440. The town of Seneca is at 68,000. So that puts that a little bit into perspective of where we are, where things kind of sit within Ontario County. So like I said, any changes will require a public hearing subject to permissive referendum. So I do have a resolution that I would like to share. Sue, do you have that one? Sorry, 131, 131A. 131A. So that's okay. So that's okay if you don't have it. Resolution number, and this went to all board members. So if you guys have any questions on it, Friday.
It's in your mailbox too.
There you go. I didn't either.
The two resolutions I sent, 131A and 131B.
I got it.
Crystal.
It's in your mailboxes upstairs too.
Yeah.
No, I got my mail this afternoon.
So we'll bring that up so we can put that on the screen so we can all see it.
It's amazing how fast
You
you
wanna
can
let
do a
go?
resolution
Yeah.
when it's something you want to do, huh?
Okay, here's another one there. Okay, so there's one for you, John. So resolution number 2024-131A, setting a public hearing on a local law to authorize budget amendment and increase the salary for highway superintendent. In order for this to happen, and like I said, to have discussion on this, because it's an elected salary, we need to have this, and because it's mid-year and not during the regular budget, it needs to be done by public hearing. So this resolution sets a public hearing, which would be June 24th, to have this discussion regarding the salary increase. So I'll give a second.
Just to be.
Do you have any input? I'll let you clarify, Mr. Nadler, if you have any clarification.
So New York State Town Law 27, subparagraph 1 says that the increase of salary of any elected official can be increased beyond what was stated in the preliminary budget notice for less than one fiscal year, provided that the town board adopts a local law to that effect. In accordance with municipal home rule law. So the public hearing would be on a local law, which was also sent out on Friday. It's just one sentence. And so municipal home rule law says you can have that kind of local law, and it is subject to a 45-day permissive referendum. Yeah, town law permissive referendums are 30 days.
Your email this morning, Chris, said that that's the case for the highway superintendent, because that is an elected position.
Yes.
But your email also said that it was not the case for the position assigned by the town board. Well, that sounds like there's a difference.
That's a good point, Terry. The only restriction in this situation is on the increase of an elected official's salary beyond what was advertised in the notice of preliminary budget. So the town board can increase salaries for general employees, non-elected employees, as a matter of course, and you have done that, and other boards have done that. Town law 27-1 says you can't increase an elected official's salary beyond what was advertised in the notice of preliminary budget, unless you adopt a local law and it's for less than one fiscal year. So you're
That's
absolutely
not
right.
what your email this morning said.
It is exactly what I said.
No, it said the town board could make that adjustment on the water side, but not on.
Yeah, that's what I just
highway
meant to say.
side.
That's what he just said.
So you could do it on the water side
Okay, so that is the same as any other employee.
right now.
Yes, I believe that
Right.
would be correct, and 131B allows for that to happen.
That'd be, you think I could read that?
Here, that's John. There, that, I'm a little nicer. That, I'm not gonna put you on the spot. That should be 131B, John. and
Okay,
Chair.
thank you.
Yep.
I do have a comment on 131A. Paragraph number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure that reads correctly.
Sorry. 131A,
131A, paragraph number 6.
whereas the town board,
That's for the whole year.
The third line down, the remainder, Jim Fletcher for the remainder of 2024 fiscal year by $30,000 above the amount specified in notice of the hearing.
That was,
I think that there should be some language there that says it's going to be prorated for the balance of 2024.
see what I wrote in the local law. pursuant to the salary of the elected highway superintendent James Fletcher is hereby increased by $30,000 above the amount specified in the notice of hearing on the preliminary budget for 2024 from $16,000 to $90,000 for the remainder of the 2024 fiscal year, effective as of May 2024. I think the thing to do, and we can change the setting the public hearing.
You understand my point?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing to do is add the word annual in front of the word salary.
That's okay.
Is that?
Yes.
And you could even add a comment that it'll be prorated for 2024.
Yeah, I think it's.
So that would be regarding both.
Yes.
Yeah. So the options that we have, the options on the table are to not take any action tonight. We have the public hearing in a month. Whatever the outcome of that public hearing is, then whatever decision is made, if the decision is to move forward, then it would revert to May 20th, correct?
Yes.
Prorated, reverting back to May 20th. So I'm comfortable not taking any action tonight, especially with some of that other clarification. I think the local law is fine. I mean, what you have in there, we can make notice.
As amended.
As amended.
Talked about.
And we can put it back out there again. It hasn't been filed, so he can make those changes to it. The only action that we would need to take tonight would be a resolution, a motion to set a public hearing for June 24th. And it would be this one. Yeah. So the resolution that we would then need to pass tonight, sorry, in replace of resolution 131. You can keep them. Yeah, we talked.
I had 2 copies.
So I'll give it back to you in a second. So it would be resolution 2024-131A, setting a public hearing on a local law to authorize budget amendment and increase of salary for highway superintendent. However, Chris, do you see any necessity to change in any of the whereases to address John's question?
No, not for setting a public hearing unless you're really dead set on it. I mean, I think.
No, as long as we'll have the amended resolution for the public hearing and for our vote, I'm comfortable.
Okay, all right.
And maybe just by consensus, now in your rules of procedure, add the word annual into the 131A.
Okay.
And we add something that the 2024 salary will be prorated to.
Yeah, I'll add that to the local law.
Yeah.
So we're just doing 131A, which is just setting a public hearing. That's the action that we're taking today, just setting a public hearing for next month's meeting, correct?
I believe so. All right,
So
so
do you need a motion to,
I'm just gonna, so with that, if there's no objection, I will put in. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I will add the word annual salary from 60,000 to 90,000, okay? And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 whereas, where it says budget for 2024 from 60,000 annual salary to 90,000. And then I would say the same for water superintendent, which is in the next whereas up, just to make it clean and the same. Annual salary for both of those. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, in the 5th whereas, we are adding annual salary after 75,000. The 6th whereas, we are adding annual salary after 60,000. All right. Okay, Heather, do you have that? All right. We comfortable with that? All right, so at this time, so resolution number 131A, setting a public hearing on a local law to authorize budget amendment and increase the salary for highway superintendent as amended. Can I get a motion? Motion. So John? Can I get a second?
Second.
Terry? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. That
Can
carries.
I take care of a couple procedural matters?
Yes, there you go. You can have
There's
30 notes on there.
recommend a couple procedural matters. First of all, the motion Jared made at the outset of this discussion, that was seconded by Terry, related to 2024-131. Should have been, and I think we can all agree was, a motion to postpone that resolution indefinitely pursuant to Rule of Procedure 20C. And then somebody's about to make a motion to lay 131B over to the June 24th town board.
We have to lay 131B over?
Oh, no, because.
It wasn't in
I
the
don't think we
agenda.
need to. It wasn't in the agenda and we would come out with a new one
Okay,
because we didn't introduce it.
okay.
So I think that'll just get too confusing and we come back with a clean one for that'll be publicized for the public hearing.
Makes sense.
Okay? All right. Okay,
Did we ever vote on laying it over 131?
we did.
You did.
We did vote on that from the, in the
You
onset.
didn't vote on laying it over, you voted to postpone it.
Yeah, we laid it on the table indefinitely. All right, thank you, everybody. Any other comments, questions? We good? Hurt your brain? Okay, all right. Resolution number 132, authorizing the appropriation of fund balance from the general fund to purchase a new vehicle. So moved. By Terry, second by Dave. Any discussion? Jimmy, just want to explain real quick the difference, why the,
Yeah, the last year's budget, we had budgeted 35,000 for a new car. It's decided that it's best interest of the town code enforcement officer to have a truck so we can get in and out of job sites without getting stuck. Pull them out with town equipment.
Never's a good-
And now.
it's never a good look.
Never a good look, so we will know Wednesday, I can tell Jess that we'll know how much we made off the fourth state
Okay,
to offset that expense, okay, that we're just moving 13,000 now to purchase the vehicle, but there is a revenue also come back from that.
awesome.
That's what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Did you include that boot scraper, John?
Yeah, you're right. Or like we talked, the pair of boots in the back.
Yeah. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, that one carries. Resolution number 133, updating the town of Canandaigua investment policy and designation of New York Community Trust as an approved office depository.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Adeline, seconded by Terry. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that one carries. Resolution number 134, another mouthful. Bridge New York resolution by the town of Canandaigua. Culvert project municipality administered. Bridge New York contract number D041054. PIN, is all this necessary? 4BNY.65, authorizing the implementation and funding of 100% of the costs of a transportation project of which qualified costs up to the cap of $1,500,000 may be reimbursed from Bridge New York funds.
Move.
Second, moved by Terry, seconded by John. I have no words left, so
Some of your better town supervisors memorize the resolution.
any discussion? Jim, you want to just a quick explanation of what I just said?
Yes, the town board applied for a Bridge New York grant over a year ago. The town board funded the initial preliminary engineering report, which got us a successful grant of $1.5 million to replace a very deep culvert on Seneca Point Road that was built in 1930s. This resolution is stating to New York State that the town board is committed and has funds to pay for this, and they will reimburse the town up to $1.5 million of the expenses. The actual expense of the whole project is around $2.1 million. So the town board will fund roughly $700,000 of this project to complete this project. And also, you will need to sign some paperwork along with Jared, and the town clerk has to be notarized before it goes back to them.
Do you have the paperwork?
We do have the paperwork.
All right. Send it over to me, I can print it out and get it back.
All right, any further discussion?
No.
So this is another one that's a long time coming, and this was one of the targets of some of our fund balance to get some of these public works projects tied up and taken care of. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Resolution number 135, 2024 Town of Canandaigua Water Improvement Project, Seeker Lead Agency and Determination of Significance Resolution.
Second?
Moved by Terry, seconded by Adeline. Any discussion on this one? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That one carries. Resolution number 136, accepting the proposal from MRB Group for professional services for the professional service of Ananda Park Bathhouse design and authorization for town supervisor to execute the agreement.
So moved.
Moved by Adeline, seconded by Dave. Any discussion?
Yeah, just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I'm still working off the old copy, so I assume the new copy of this resolution says 39,000
Not
rather
to-
than 93.
Not to exceed 39,000. Yep, and it's right up there. Yep, perfect. You can't see it, but it's up there.
Thank you.
You bet it.
But you have like a opera glasses.
Use those money for that. The exciting thing about this is with this proposal and this idea done, we'll know exactly what we need to button up Ananda from the bottom to the top. And for now,
Just the top.
to the, well, the bottom of the road to the top.
Except for the cab.
Except for the cow, yeah. So I'm just gonna stop talking. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Resolution 137, accepting the proposal from MRB Group for professional services for professional service, Ananda Park upland improvements and authorization for town supervisor to execute agreement. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Terry, seconded by Adeline. Any discussion on this one? This gets us there to the top. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That one carries. Resolution number 138. Public interest order pursuant to New York State Town Law, section 202B relating to the construction of 2024 Town of Canandaigua water improvements. So moved. Second. Moved by Terry, seconded by John. Any discussion on this one? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that one carries.
Insert 135 in the middle of the resolution.
So the whereas blank 135,
Yeah, 2024-135 is the resolution, was the secret.
okay. Sorry. Heather, you got that? Yep. Okay. All right, resolution number 139, authorizing general obligation serial bonds to finance water system capital improvements within the town, authorizing the issuance of bond anticipation notes in contemplation thereof, the expenditure of sums for such purpose, and determining other matters in connection therewith. So moved. Second. Moved by Terry, seconded by Dave. Any discussion on this one? Again, another one of the required resolutions for the water project. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carries. Resolution number 140. Standard workday for town board member.
So move.
Okay, moved by Terry. Seconded by Dave. Any discussion?
Yeah. What exactly does this, mean? What exactly is this?
That's for NICERS for retirement.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
It's for the retirement fund. So it's how many hours I work in the town hall and how many that counts against my future retirement. We did it last month for
Yeah.
Crystal and Jared.
So any electeds, it's to track the number, to track the hours and the time that you have.
If you're in the system.
If you pay into the system. Okay. All right.
So it's indicating that it indicates that I work 11 and a half work days per month towards retirement.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, that carries. Resolution number 141, appointment of Edward Deutschlander to the vacant position on the Town Environmental Conservation Board. Second by Dave, seconded by Terry. Any discussion?
What a great
I know.
resume he had attached.
Yes.
Be a wonderful addition to the conservation board.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that one carries. Resolution number 142, appointment of seasonal employees.
So move.
Moved by Terry.
Second.
Seconded by Dave. All right, Lindsay has been busy, very busy. Any discussion on these? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries. They can get to work.
Are there a lot of people that come back from last year?
So about half,
About half?
about half. So the other half graduated college and are now working in their field.
Is Molly healing up?
She is,
Okay,
she
good.
is good to work.
Good.
We are
All right.
safe. She can
Good.
swim, she
Good.
can walk.
Good to know. All right, resolution number 143, appointment of code enforcement officer.
So move.
Second Terry, seconded by Dave. Any discussion? Very excited, and I know Mike Murphy will be very excited to have
When do they start?
Today.
more help.
Yes, sir.
Today.
All right, good to know.
I think tomorrow.
Tomorrow. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, that one
Who
carries.
thinks we're still gonna get emails from Mike Murphy in the middle of the night?
We better. After what we said earlier, we better get those midnight emails.
I think a phone call would be better.
If he calls me in the middle of the night and something's not on fire, there's.
Resolution 144, appointment of motor equipment operator.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Terry, seconded by Dave. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
He was a very good
Carries.
employee when he was with the transfer station. He was very helpful. Nice young man.
Yep. Smile at me every time on Cooley Road. I'll just put it that way. Resolution number 145, adoption and acknowledgement of the town of Canandaigua open space policy and procedure.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Adeline, seconded by Dave. Any discussion?
What is it?
Up. Any board, approving the open space policy that we have. It was put on the shelf. It was completed quite a while ago. Now we were just adopting it. How we want to protect, preserve targeted land, targeted areas, targeted properties. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries. Yes, that on that one, but not the one that was 80,000 words long.
What did I tell you about this?
Sorry, no back and forth, sorry. Resolution number 146, setting a public hearing on a cable television franchise agreement with Spectrum Northeast LLC. Moved by, I'll give you that one. Moved by Terry, seconded by Dave. Any discussion?
Question,
Sir.
do we know how much we collected in 2023? And how much will be collected in 2024?
So we're right around that $80,000 to $90,000 mark annually.
Okay.
With about 2,950 homes, if I remember correctly. And this is only for cable television. It's not for Spectrum Internet. We don't know what's going to be collected. Because of as part of this agreement, it updates that, this agreement has been out of date for a long time. And it's something that's needed to be done, and they're trying to do an update. We don't know with all the new houses coming online, we don't know. A lot of municipalities, just to put that out there, a lot of them, the $80,000 goes into our general operating. A lot of them will take that money and specifically direct it towards infrastructure improvements within the municipality. I think South Bristol did that. They used their cable franchise money to expand cable and internet to some of the underserved areas. We can control how much. It's $3 on your bill. You'll see that franchise fee for $3.
Only if you have TV.
Only television. Spectrum. So that will come back, and that comes to the town. We could set it for $4. The towns have the ability to set that amount too. We've always had it at $3. And it brings in a little bit of revenue to the town for that.
Well, in
But
fact, it's like an extra tax.
yeah, it's a cable TV tax. For them having
Companies
it there.
don't pay us, but subscribers pay.
For
Yeah.
purposes of background, Spectrum came to town, I don't remember, well over 5 years ago, probably closer to 10, and said, hey, can we renew our franchise agreement? And the town said, sure, let's keep it at 3, but we need cable services to all these, half the town didn't have cable at the time. It was not 10 full years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was, but my understanding now is, and so we couldn't come to an agreement because they couldn't do that. But I think they did work at it. Now
They have.
You gave me the percentage the other day.
Oh, I see the chart in my head. The number's like 18. There are 18 homes within the town of Canandaigua that do not have access to fiber internet. So there are 18 that have access to that. Most of them are in that, if I remember correctly, in the Bliss Road area. So Bliss Road, some of Woolhouse, the others, some of that area there. So those don't have, that's right about what that number is. I'd start saying other things, but I wouldn't be accurate because I don't exactly remember, but it's right about that 18 number. That don't have it. So they have helped, they have increased and reached some of those areas. They were surprised when they got back to me with that number, how low it was. I think South Bristol's the worst within the county, just because of how rural they are, and we're one of the, other than the Victor area, we're one of the better ones with that.
There's not that many customers there. You're right. I mean, it wasn't all that long ago. It was right after that they ran it down my section of Middle Cheshire Road.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have it until about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay, so.
Now I get 2 ads a week from them saying, sign up, please, which I file.
We'll take $3.
Yeah, I'm not paying it. I get mine from up in the sky.
Cool. All right, any further discussion? Thank you. You good? Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that one carries. Resolution 147, amending the town of Canandaigua vacation, sick and personal leave policy.
So moved.
Second.
We'll give that to Terry, and Adeline is the second. Any discussion? Just want to thank Lindsay for the time that she put into this. I don't remember how far back we started talking about it, but it's a long time coming, and what it does is, within the town, if you came from another municipality, even if you'd worked there 15 or 20 years, depending on when you joined, you could wait over a year to have vacation time. So this equalizes that and allows that to accrue a little bit faster, quite a bit faster. So it's just an incentive in this competitive market to get people here. Same thing with the sick and personal leave policies, adjusting that, making this more competitive with others. So thank you for doing that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that one carries. That one's long, lots of pages on that. Resolution number 148, authorizing the issuance of facility alcoholic beverage permit to Kelly Bush.
Second.
Terry, second by Adeline. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that one carries. Resolution 149, engaging with IC9 Design for website redesign.
So moved.
Second by Adeline, seconded by Dave. Any discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries. And I want to thank Sue for reaching out to them, helping make our website compliant. And now looking at ways to make it a little bit more interactive, a little bit more vibrant and engaging. Resolution number 150, engaging GoGov for citizen notification and alert software.
So moved.
Second, moved by Adeline, seconded by Dave. Any discussion? Yes, I will explain what this is with that one too. So GoGov is basically it will allow us to create a Town of Canandaigua app that people can download to their phone. Through that app, they can sign up for push notifications, which would come to their phone, for example, if there's a water main break, or if there's an updated town board meeting, or if something is posted. So the end user can decide how much or how little notification they want. But what it is, it's that push notification, because you realize when you're communicating with people, when you're getting information out there, you have passive and you have active. Our website is active, so people would actually have to want to go there to find information on the website. This is more of a passive, where if you just sign up for it, the information comes to you. It was kind of eye-opening when we had our first meeting with the Citizens Advisory Panel. We had put it on the website and on Facebook, minimal responses. Then we sent out an email, and this will link to email also. But within about a minute and a half, we already had 4 people who expressed interest in being part of that panel, that committee. So the push notification is very important for just getting information out there and for public safety. If there are any quick emergency notifications that need to go out, this will allow that. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that one carries. Resolution number 151, accepting access, utility and stormwater easements related to Blue Sky Towers at 4430 Dual Road, directing the town supervisor to sign said easements, and further directing town clerk to record said easements at the Ontario County Clerk's Office.
Second.
Moved by Terry, seconded by Adeline. Any discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
Does this mean that when you're driving through Cheshire, you'll be able to stay on your cell phone?
Potentially.
Hands-free, of course.
I cannot confirm nor can I deny that.
Live in Cheshire, you'll be able to use your cell phone.
Resolution 152, agreement for the sale of real property to Gem Coal Properties, Sandman's, Brickyard Road, Town of Canandaigua, Ontario County. Moved by Terry, seconded by Dave. Any discussion? This is a small parcel of property which will allow Gem Coal, which is on the corner of Brickyard and Airport Road. It's a small section that pretty much has dead trees and other things on it. They will purchase it from the town. We don't use it, and then they will beautify it, and it will improve the look of the area and improve the access to their property as well.
And the value was established or agreed upon by our town assessor.
Yes.
By determining the price per acre.
Yes.
So the payment will be around 3,400.
Correct.
They're gonna present you with transfer of title document.
Yes, they will provide all that, and then once they receive this.
And then you and I'll review it. And
Yep.
we'll sign.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 153, authorizing the town supervisor to sign an intermunicipal agreement with the city of Canandaigua for fireworks on July 6, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Big time.
Moved by Adeline, seconded by Dave. Any discussion?
I am both thrilled and excited that we're bringing fireworks back to Canandaigua this year, and that we made agreements to have them in 25 and 26 on the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. which happens to be on my birthday, but anyway.
All right.
Very excited for it.
I might have to
Sorry.
close it for further discussion. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that one carries. All right, now town board meetings to approve. We have to approve the follow minutes of the following meetings. March 25th, April 5th, April 18th, April 22nd, 2024. Moved by Terry,
Seconded.
seconded by Adeline. Any discussion, deletions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Excuse me. Okay, payment of the bills. Heather, you have a lot.
Okay. Abstract clean fund total presented by the top. Okay. Utility abstract dated 4/18/24, totaling $81,262.47. General fund, $55,158.67. Highway fund, $2,135.42. Capital projects, $27.54. Lighting districts, $1,291.42. Water districts, $22,649.42. Special abstract dated 4/26/24, totaling $500. Town clerk membership dues, general fund, $500. Special abstract dated 5/1/24, totaling $20,000. YMCA contracts, general fund, $20,000. Utility abstract dated 5/10/24, totaling $25,990.23. General fund, $15,113.01. Highway fund, $4,489.07. Capital projects, $410.40. Lighting districts, $1,163.58. Water districts, $4,814.17. Excuse me. Town board abstract dated 5/20/24, totaling $360,370.65. General fund, $118,485. Highway fund, $121,926.85. Capital projects, $85,810.06. Water districts, $33,148.74.
Awesome, well done. Thank you very much. Motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Second. Adeline and John. Any discussion?
Yeah, I was looking at the abstract, 520 abstract. There's an invoice in there from Bergman for sidewalk envisionment. It showed the project as being 33% complete, but it's done, isn't it? That's what I thought. It was like $10,000. I don't know if that was a mistake in their part of the invoice or what.
Let's go back and look at that. Whether they were really 33%, just didn't update it to 100.
Yeah, that's what I figured. it probably
Okay.
did. If we proved it.
Yeah, it's done.
Right, okay, so thank you for checking that one. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That carries, the bills are paid. All right, so we do have other business, and I am at a loss for this one.
Farnsworth Chevy 2024-076.
Sarah didn't know it was here.
There was something from the town of Gorham that was attached to my.
Oh, okay, that was that one. All right, so thank you. Thank you. I drew, so all that one was, so the town of Gorham, we received a planning board application from the town of Gorham. That is because it's within the required distance of the town of Canandaigua. They had to send it to us for input. It's a residential property within at Crystal Beach.
Yeah, it's touchy on the
Yeah,
point.
within that area.
He's building the house.
It belongs to one of your planning board members. I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over.
Yeah. but it's within the town of Gorham. So that one we will move on from. All right, we have one final privilege of the floor. Is that would anyone like to be heard? Marion?
Gotta go here again?
Yes, you do.
Huh? Two quick things. One is in regards to the website update. A suggestion would be to, in the newsletter that goes out, ask the public if they've got any questions or suggestions. I know that I tried to find the comprehensive plan on our website, and I did the search and tried comp plan and couldn't get it. And I was looking all around. I finally found it by going to the development office and then to documents and then to comp. But it's like, I think it would be helpful to ask the public. The other thing is I would like a clarification in regards to the two positions that you were talking about for an increase. Are those two separate full-time jobs? You're talking about them both being $90,000. That sounds like a full-time job. Are these two separate full-time jobs? And I gather the attorney isn't going to let you answer, so
Oh, no.
that's what I would.
It's because I think there is an answer. I just don't know what it is, and it's possible they don't either. But we'll find.
You don't know what the answer to that is?
Marion, it's hard enough for me to admit when I don't know something. Don't rub it in. No, that's something that you should figure out. We'll make sure it's correct, and then.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
That does total 180,000, right?
Yes. Anyone else like to be heard at this time? Anybody online? I'm not seeing any other hands online. I will entertain, we do have an executive session. Did you have one as well? A separate one? You have a separate one? Okay, so we will have two executive sessions, and yours is employment history. All right, so the first one will be to discuss the employment history of a particular person or matters leading to the appointment, suspension, or promotion. The second one will be for the same, to discuss the employment history of a particular person on matters leading to the appointment, employment, or promotion, and that one will pertain to the town manager search. It's not anticipated that we will have any action afterwards. So we will not be taking any action after the executive session, but you are, as always, you're welcome to stay if you would like. So I will entertain